Good morning, everybody. It is 2021, and it's been very trying for everybody. The terrible thing that happened at the Capitol, and we're all trying to get back into business and do things that are good for everybody. And it's great to start off with John Ahlbum because he's been someone that you can rely on and trust and know that he isn't going to rush into your house and and do anything that's wrong. We were just talking about that, and we were talking about the claims that come in and how you get to know everything that's happened if you do have a claim. Hopefully you don't have a claim. Hopefully you're not sick. That's what I want. No claims, right, John?
That's the best way. That's the best insurance in the world when you don't need to use it.
Right. So my guest is John Ahlbum, who is the founder of the Ahlbum Insurance. It's actually the insurance company. Group, Ahlbum Insurance Group. It's a big organization. He has, he covers South Florida, but I think we talked about this before, John. I think that you also have other people who you're also licensed in some other states, I think, aren't you?
Licensed in personally, I'm licensed in 27 states.
Really? I forgot it was that many.
I'm licensed in some other states too. So.
Okay, so if someone is interested, they hear you on the Boomer Times, the Zoomer Times TV, and they say, "Gee, I like him. I would like to be one of his clients." So they shouldn't worry that it's just South Florida, right? That if they go up north or they move or something, that you can help them.
Well, the way it works in most cases, Florida is what they call an issue age state. Meaning, if you start with United American at age 65, and you don't change anything, you'll always be 65 years old. Even if you're 105, you're going to pay the same thing a 65-year-old is paying. There are other states that do what they call attained age, and every year you get a birthday present. It's a rate increase up to the point that you hit 81. And then there's a few states that are New York and Connecticut are community-rated states that everybody pays the same thing, whether you're 65 or 90 or whatever. And their underwriting is easier to get into, but their premiums are generally a little bit higher because of that, the one rate. But with Florida, if you were to move out of the state, say you moved from Miami to Kentucky, you can keep your Florida policy and they move your rate from a Miami rate to an Area 2 rate, which is the second in the state. So you pay down, but you keep your issue age protection. So, or when you get there, if you want to change everything, you can change just the address and you'll keep your Florida rate, or you can actually go and do a whole new application and a new policy. And sometimes it looks cheaper up front, but then in the long run, it becomes more expensive. But I always ask people, if they're going to move, call me and let's try to figure out what's going to be the best for you.
That's good. So they do have a choice, and that means whatever is most. Right. Well, it's not only in the cost. Well, I guess it's the cost, but maybe there's some different rules too in each state, right?
Yeah, different states have different rules and different policies and stuff. The thing I like about the issue age is that you started when you were 65. And today you decided you wanted to go to a lower cost plan within United American. Maybe not the same amount of benefits, but you would still be 65 this one time to do it.
I see. Well, I just want everyone to know I'm Anita Finley, and I'm the host of the show. And my guest is John Ahlbum, and he is the CEO and founder of the Ahlbum Insurance Group. This is their ad. They put this in Boomer Times every month. If you don't get Boomer Times, you ought to let us know, and we'll tell you how you can subscribe, or you might be in the right location to get it. So you can go to srlife@gate.net. But if you want to talk to John Ahlbum, or you want to talk to his staff, he has quite a few employees. You would go to his phone number, which is 954-970-4760. 954-970-4760. And if you want to get on their website so you can see a lot more about the United American Insurance Company, it's Ahlbum, AHLBUM group.com. I've known John for a long time, and he's the kind of person you would love to have as an insurance agent. He's smart, he's kind, he really has worked very hard in this business for a long time. You know what's happened now? A lot of people have lost their jobs and they jump into another business. And be careful about that, because they may be very nice and smart, but it's someone like John and his staff who've been very experienced, and they will direct you to the best place. John, have you had people applying now during this whole year to be an insurance agent with you?
Business has been this year. What's funny to me, funny, not ha-ha, but just funny, strange, is before the pandemic, before people were told to stay at home and to, and everything, we would get a lead or a referral or something, and whoever we were talking to would usually say, well, instead of coming down here to see me, can we just do it over the phone and the computer, because I'm really busy right now. But now with everybody being home, you call them and not all of them, but someone would say, well, could we get together? I'd rather really meet you face to face. And I think it's because they're bored. This would give them something to do physically that takes a little longer than just sitting and doing a screen share on a computer. But we're still doing a lot of, probably most of our applications are virtual with a screen share where we can actually share the application with the prospect, and then they can sign it electronically and everything else, and they get a copy of it right away, and it works out very well.
And what about employees? Have you had new staff members and people wanting to join if people are out there and they're wanting to be in your business, are you looking for people?
I've probably gotten 3 or 4 new agents in the last 3 or 4 months.
Really?
And decided that it's probably time to really do a more heavy-duty recruiting to try to bring in some more agents, because
right.
we do have a great virtual sales platform, which will help a lot of them.
What does that mean?
It means that we're kind of like you and I are talking here on the computer, facing each other on Zoom. On the virtual thing, we use what they call a screen share. And so the prospect is watching the application from page 1 to page 10 all the way through, and watching the agent actually check this box or that box as they answer yes or no to it all the way through. And then at the end, they sign it in 2 different places, and boom, it's done. But you don't have to go to their house for it. I mean, they can get on their computer and just put the address for the screen share program in, and it's a really super secure program. So, and then within a day, if they're brand new to Medicare and we've got a copy of their Medicare card to submit with the application, generally they're issued within a day.
Actually, I think that Zoom benefits the older adults, even though I know they want to get out and all that, just what you said, but What you just said means that someone is right there with them with a large screen, and they're pointing out every single thing.
Yeah.
And when you're with someone in an office, they're sitting on a chair, you're sitting on a chair. You often don't do that. You just ask them questions and check things off. I think that there'll be a lot of people who maybe don't hear so well, but they'll hear it on their computer. They'll see it better. This could really be a boon for the older adults, John.
Yeah, yes. And, you know, when we first started with the electronic application with United American, I said to them, I don't know why you put so much time and effort into it. We're dealing with seniors. And they said, you're going to be surprised. A lot of them are more computer literate than you are. And, you know, I had one lady in New Hampshire, when I called her, we had an appointment to do over the phone nationally, because I was in Florida and she was in New Hampshire. And she said, could you call me back in half an hour on my cell phone? My internet is down in the house and I'm going to walk down to the library.
Really?
So it's going to take me longer to walk down there. So it'll be about 30 minutes before I get to a computer. You know, things like that. They had another tell me, we had an appointment, this was probably 10 years ago, an appointment on New Year's Day. No, the day after New Year's, you know, the 2nd of January, to do his application over the phone. And he called me New Year's Eve and said, could you call me tomorrow morning? I know it's a holiday, but could you call me? We have a bad snowstorm coming in. I'm afraid I'll lose my power and I won't have any power. So we did his New Year's morning. And there was one page, it's a whole disclosure about, you know, this and that, you know, all legalese type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, you can read that if you'd like to. He said, John, you know I'm 87, right? I said, yep, I sure do. He goes, I won't live long enough to read all that.
John, that's funny. Well, but see, those are good stories. Now that means that, yeah. And you know, now they can use their phone as a.
You know, they talk about and use their computer, and most, you know, it's amazing the number of people who have computers or a laptop or a tablet or something, because a tablet will work too, like an iPad or something for the.
Right.
But it works really well, and you can't make a mistake because you can't submit it if you haven't completely filled out the application too, so it's good.
That's true. You should say that there are some things I was filling out and I didn't know they wanted me to check a silly little box. I didn't check it and I could not get this forward. And I said, oh no, what happened now? And I went back and looked at everything and sure enough, there was a box I didn't check. I think you're absolutely, I just think we call it ZOOMERTIMES, of course, and we've had such wonderful conversations with our advertisers and our friends and people, because you see, and you know this, you could have an appointment and then you have to get to another meeting and then you have to get to another meeting. You have to figure out the time and how long is it going to take me, and there's traffic and how many excuses we've had. Oh, I got caught in the traffic and then there are accidents. And so in a way, to be able to, if you have good equipment, you have a good computer like you do and I have and Dan has, and we can actually have this discussion, it seems to me like Zoom is here to stay. I mean, I really mean it. You may never get to be with someone. Huh?
It's definitely here to stay, and it's phenomenal because here we're face to face.
Right.
Only miles apart.
That's right. Face to face, miles apart. I've got to write that down. That's good. I like that. I'm going to write that down because that's very, very well said here. I'm writing it down. Face to face, miles apart. Okay, I just did that. I'm going to use that as something. It was very well said. Okay, I got that. Well, I don't know. And are you now with your kids and your family members who don't live here? Does everyone live here? Do you have other people that your family that live other places? Do you talk with them on Zoom or what do you do?
No, they're all in Florida. They're all in South Florida, actually.
Oh.
My granddaughter's in Tallahassee, but she was with us for Christmas. My oldest granddaughter. And we'll visit some. We did, at the beginning, there were 3 birthdays, and we did 3 drive-by birthdays. Waves, and horn blowings, and everything else. And
right. Threw the presents out the window, right?
yeah.
Shit.
But Christmas Eve, for years, we've had a lobster bake or lobster boil, and I make clam chowder from scratch with a recipe to it. And so this year, we cleaned off the back. We have a screened-in back porch, and we cleaned it off of all the other furniture and just put 3 tables up. And we had 16 lobsters and
Oh my gosh.
food for the younger ones and everything else along with it. But it was fun, and it was social distancing and separation, and then we actually put the Christmas tree out there this year instead of in the living room, so that presents under it for Christmas Eve, and then they all went and picked up their presents from under the tree and stuff, and it was fun. It really worked out nicely.
That was brilliant. I haven't talked to anybody about that. That was very fun. What happened? And did the wind take the ornaments off, or you didn't put any ornaments, just tinsel and things?
That little corner where the tree was glassed in, so
I see.
So the tree was safe.
Okay. Well, but that's very clever. And actually, even with your family here, you can Zoom. People are doing it. Look, we're doing it.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not that far from each other.
Yeah, we've done Zoom or FaceTime or stuff like that. It's more and more of that than anything else. And
yeah, I attended a funeral recently with about 20 people. Have you attended any funerals yet on Zoom?
I haven't. A friend of mine who was a fellow deputy sheriff, and he was a fireman up on Martha's Vineyard when I was there this summer, passed away. They had a thing at the funeral home, but that was just for family. But then at the cemetery, it was kind of opened up because there was enough distance, between where his grave was going to be or was, for people to separate and not be on top of each other. And so I think it was good for the family that, they saw how many people were there, and I think that makes a big difference to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there were about 20 people, I think, at this funeral, maybe a little bit more, and everybody's had their say, and they did. I didn't know any of them. I just knew the person who was deceased,
Mm-hmm.
and it was interesting to hear their take on who he was and things I never knew, but I think it was very successful. They said eventually, when things are, cleaned up in a sense, and everyone's been vaccinated, or hopefully, they'll have a regular, celebration of some sort.
I see that a lot where they say that the interment will be private, but there'll be a memorial service at a later date or something, So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, when I get up in the morning and I start checking on my emails, there are more seminars and more Zoom meetings and more things. And a lot of these meetings actually are 8 and 8:30, and they're down in Broward and Miami-Dade where I would go. I had to get up at, 6:30, get in my car, drive down there. I hope they continue this. I mean, I know there are a lot of people that come and we can see them on screen. And I don't know, I'm hoping that they'll still refer people to us and we refer to them. But there is something about seeing one another in the flesh, but maybe it only has to be quarterly or something and not every month that way.
And I think meetings like, a Zoom meeting or that type of meeting is every bit as good as everybody trying, like you said, getting up early, fighting traffic, finding a place to park and everything else, and then having to go through it all afterward too to get home again.
Right.
We started doing every other Friday conference call with all our agents. where they can all call into a 800 number, and then announce themselves, and we bring up whatever news or is pertinent right away for them. And then we ask them to tell us what problems they might have run into in the field or something else over the last week. So it works out
Right.
well. And a lot of them like the conference call even better than the Zoom meeting, because they don't have to worry about being dressed.
That's true. That's very funny, because sometimes people are dressed from the halfway up and not on the bottom, and they forget and they stand up.
I've seen that a couple times.
Right. But this wonderful guest, who's got such a nice personality, such a nice person in his business. This is John Ahlbum, Ahlbum. His name's actually John Jon too, right?
Yes, it's
not John, Jon. Okay. And his main office is in Margate, but he'll go anywhere to help you. And I'll give you his 800 number. It's 877-970-4760. 877-970-4760. And his website is Ahlbum, AHLBUM Group.com. And their company is exclusively United American Insurance Company. Is that the correct way to say that?
Yeah. As an agency, that's the company that we represent, and we pretty much just specialize with United American. Some of our agents are licensed with other companies too, so they can offer, if somebody is looking for comparison quotes or things like that, we can get them the information they need.
Well, I've always told everybody that I've been a customer of United American, a client of theirs for many, many years, as my husband was. And it's because of things that John has said previously about I can go to any doctor. I don't have to wait and hope that they're going to give me a referral. I can go anywhere in the country. I've never had to use those sources, but I do like the idea that I can pick and choose the doctor I want. And I've told John this also, that apparently they pay their doctors' insurance claims very quickly, because when you go to a medical, it's funny, I'm not like the way this works, but what happens is, as soon as you call, before they take any information, they want to know what insurance policy you have. I mean, it's like, it's like, what's this, how much do you weigh on the phone? How much do you weigh? And they won't take you if you weigh too much, but no, I'm kidding. The thing is when you tell them United American, they're just so happy. And that's all a business situation, isn't it, John?
Yeah, some of our referral sources are doctor's offices, just because they are happy with the company.
Right. Well, I'm very happy that that I've been with you, and let's see what's happening here. So, the host says start my video. My video must have gone off or something. I don't know what happened. Doesn't it? Yeah, here I am back again. But I think we're probably running out of time anyway. Well, I certainly hope that what's just happened in 2021 is just going to go away very quickly, and we're going to have a very good 2021 with our new president and with new, with new rules and new things that are going to make people happy and no more. That's not possible. We're never all going to be happy with everything, but let's just try to be peaceful and love our country and do what our grandparents want us to do, and what I know we need to do. So just take a break, take a deep breath, be kind to everyone, no bullying. As a matter of fact, I've had a few new books that we're featuring, and two of them, one is about bullying children, the other one is a woman who was bullied by her husband. So I wasn't affected so much by bullying, even though I got to thinking about that. I guess there have been some people in my life, and I don't know if people were in your life bullying. We never really thought much about it. We just thought that they were mean or something.
Yeah.
but we don't want to bully. It's not a nice thing to do. And I know you have wonderful grandchildren, and now you have them, they're grown.
Yeah.
So it could be a good life if we all just, practice the golden rule.
I don't subscribe to the fact that this is the new normal. I want to get back to what was normal.
Yeah, we do. We want to get our shots, which, by the way, I'm still having difficulty getting one. But get our shots and then carry on as best as we can, but be considerate and kind to other people. The golden rule still is extremely important for everybody. Everyone knows what that is. And, when you see or someone that needs help, even in my condo, they actually have a box downstairs that they've decorated as to give any extra food you have, cans and stuff into that box. Because there are people who are really struggling.
Yeah. That's good.
So anyway, well, tell your wife and your kids, that they're doing a good job. And, and I have to say this, I know people don't know your history, even though you talked about your history and we have about it. Let's see. Wrap it up, he says. Okay, not another time. But John really reared his, there were 4 children, I think, 4.
Yes.
All by himself, or because of unfortunately his wife died. But I just have to tell you, John's a good man, and you will want to talk to him and be sure to think about United American, but just go to John. There are a lot of United Americans you want to go to John. Okay, thanks, John. We'll talk to you again.
Great seeing you. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. We'll be back.